Big Game Forum.
This is the third episode of the Extended Forum. This week, we're going to go ahead and start off by talking about the games we're playing. I've been playing Gundam Battle Operation 2 a lot this week. I should have a review out by the end of this week. Been having pretty a lot of fun with it. Definitely a little different from some of the other Gundam games I've played in the past. But still pretty enjoyable. And it's a free game, so can't knock it for that.
Yeah.
Zach, how about you?
I've been playing some Red Dead Online. Played a little bit more of that. Borderlands 3. Then I think that was it. That's all I played.
Well, how are you coming on the three ranks in Red Dead Online?
Wait, which?
The three roles, the bounty hunter, collector.
I think I hit rank 2 in the bounty hunter. I only played for a little bit. I think I'm rank 2. Yeah, rank 2. Yeah, I mean it's fine. It's just something to pick up and play for fun. I played with my brother for a little bit, but I mean it's fun.
Have you been able to do any of the legendary bounties yet?
I did.
You did the one with me, right?
Yeah, and then me and my brother did the Sergio, the military one. That one's really hard. He's a sniper, and so like you have to like sneak up to him. You don't have to sneak up to him. You can just walk up to him, but he's up in a tower and he has a sniper and like he will one shot you. And,
oh God!
Yeah, it's really difficult, but it's really fun. We actually, he's up in this like watchtower, and I snuck up through the corner and I threw I threw the lasso up, and it like grabbed him right at the corner and he like fell down off of the thing, but it caught him. So it didn't kill him because he almost fell off the watchtower. So I was able to tie him up and actually like deliver him alive and stuff. But it was really cool.
That's pretty cool. It's definitely a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun moments in the game like that happen, especially when playing with friends.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
All right, I guess to start us off this week, big announcement out of Sony. They finally confirmed the release of the PlayStation 5, and it's actually going to be called the PlayStation 5.
It's a big surprise.
Yeah, to nobody. Everyone figured this is what they were going to be doing.
Yeah, it's
it'll be coming out holiday 2020.
Also a big surprise.
Yeah. I also thought it was pretty interesting, that really weird picture of the PlayStation 5 in the shape of a V was actually real. Apparently that was the dev kit they were sending out to developers to start developing games on.
I guess I can't remember other dev kits, but I know they're odd. I know sometimes they'll send like a Raspberry Pi type.
They're always kind of like a hodgepodge of parts that just have relativistic specs of what the actual console have. Very rarely, I don't think I've ever seen an actual dev kit like sent out early that actually looks like the console looks. That way they can keep it under wraps and nothing will get leaked.
This is pretty early for a dev kit, right? Or is this right on par? I can't remember.
This should be right on par, because you got to think these developers have to spend a couple years developing these games for the launch of the PlayStation 5.
Yeah, that is true. And like another thing, kind of going off to on the side, with the studios with Sony, with the studios with Xbox, it's like the studios building for the launch or launch window or launch year PS5 are high quality. You know, Ghost of Tsushima is probably going to be a launch PS5 game, but also on PS4.
I probably expect that one to be cross-play. A lot of these
a lot of them. Yeah, but like we're going to be getting God of War 2, Spider-Man 2, Horizon Zero Dawn 2, whatever else that they're working on. There's a rumor that Demon Souls is getting remastered. There's a rumors that Guerrilla is also working on a Killzone reboot, and so all this could be around PS5's launch window. With Xbox, you have no idea what they're doing. They have a new Halo, but that's it. The other, I don't know how many studios they bought, like 7 or 8, 9 studios they bought. No one knows what they're doing. You know?
It's hard to say whether or not they just have a lot of really secret games in development, or with Xbox's recent track record, they could just not be working on all that much because they've canceled a lot of games
Yeah.
in this last development cycle, and even canceled some of the studios they acquired, which seems to be a little bit confusing on my end, but
Yeah.
I guess they know what they're doing.
Yeah. Well, I think they're taking that approach of they just want to. It's like Sony wants hardcore gamers, hardcore games for hardcore gamers, and Xbox just wants their stuff everywhere. Like
I guess, but I mean, PlayStation, that's I definitely
they're
think
going to need to.
yeah,
do that too.
it's a good focus on hardcore gamers, but I mean, they're known for a lot of like indie games. They
Yeah.
opened up to indie developers a lot sooner than Xbox did.
And then they turn their back on them. Yeah. So with the PlayStation 5, some other details have come out through with Mark Cerny. Actually, yeah, it was Mark Cerny with Wired magazine talking about some of the, like the SSD and the ray tracing is actually going to be built in through the hardware. It's not going to be like a software gimmick, which is really cool. But another interesting thing is that the controller, they've pretty much confirmed that it's going to be similar to the DualShock 4, which is good.
No boomerang?
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
No boomerang. But it also makes sense because if they were going to be adding backwards compatibility with PS4, they're going to need the touchpad. Unfortunately, they're going to have to hold on to that. But a couple of other adjustments that they're making is these haptic feedback. It's basically HD rumble that the Switch has. It's basically the same thing.
Well, the way I've heard it described is it's a much more in tune vibration function, much more in line with like cell phones.
Yeah.
Where you can do much more distinctive vibration patterns.
Yeah.
Instead of the two little like weights rumbling back and forth in the controller.
Yeah.
So instead of just feeling a rumble, it gives it a lot more depth to like, maybe if you're doing a game where it has like you cock a gun back, it gives it that sense you're actually cocking a gun.
Yeah.
Instead of just rumbling.
Yeah. Another thing is adaptive triggers, and I think this is in the Xbox One controllers, but none of the developers are really taking advantage of this except for like the first party studios. But basically that means that like you'll feel an actual difference between pulling the trigger on the controller when you're aiming a gun down sights versus when you're like pulling back on the bow, like a bowstring of a bow and arrow. You can actually like feel the tension in the controller that will actually like change, and I thought that was really cool. But that's supposed to be actually that may not be on Xbox. I think they have I think they have
It might be on Xbox, but if PlayStation doesn't have it as well, a lot of developers might be not utilizing it for one over the other because they have to make the essentially variants in the game. Yeah. If that's a crucial game mechanic and they decide to come out on both platforms, that'd be a lot harder to do.
Yeah. Yeah, Sony probably went ahead and had to play ball with that just so that way, because if Xbox is going to continue with it, they kind of need it. So that they want I guess more of a level playing field.
Yeah, but now with both of them, that means that developers will be freed up a lot more to use that mechanic. So we'll probably see that with a lot more games in the next gen era.
Yep.
So combining that with the haptic feedback, that's definitely going to make for a lot more immersive gameplay and controllers.
Yeah, that'll be cool. I'm really hopeful that there's a lot more information like this that gets trickled out throughout the rest of the month and I don't know. Do you think there's going to be a PSX this year? Because there's a lot of people saying that there won't be, but they normally don't announce it till like early November, and it's early December.
I still think they're probably going to do it because we haven't actually seen what the console looks like.
Yeah.
And since they didn't go to E3 last year, I'm pretty sure they're going to do a PSX, and I thought that they would hold off and wait to announce the actual release date when they actually showed off the console, but they've already announced the release date. So I still think they're probably going to at least show off what the console looks like, though.
Yeah. With the PS4, they did that February reveal event where they announced it. They didn't show the console. They didn't show price. I think they showed the controller. I'm not positive on that. So you would think that they could do a February event next year, but they might could just do a December event this year to tie in with PSX, and they can maybe tease like a February event, but they'll tease something about the PS5. But I don't know. I kind of want there to be one last big push this year, and it would be awesome if it came from Sony. Xbox is also holding the XO19 event, which they could totally talk more about their Project Scarlet as well.
Yeah. I definitely think since Sony just released its deadline, we'll be hearing something out of Microsoft soon.
Oh, yeah. It seems like every time Sony does something, Microsoft will come right back out. They did that with, I can't remember. Sony said something. I think Sony talked about the PS5, that first article from Wired, and then right after that, they're talking about, like, ray tracing and the SSD, all this kind of stuff, and then, like, that same week or a week after, Xbox came out. I was like, oh, yeah, we got this stuff, too. Don't forget about us.
So it's always just kind of a back and forth between everybody.
Yeah.
All right. I guess up next, I actually went and saw Joker the other day. I was pretty impressed with it. It was a very different kind of movie. I went into it just kind of expecting a normal comic book style movie.
Yeah.
That is not what it was like. It was a little bit slower paced, but it was definitely more of a I guess you'd say a dive into like the Joker's psyche as like this one person essentially can't take what's going on in his life anymore and just kind of delves into madness. And it has some really cool parts in the movie. Like I said, I'm not going to spoil anything, but I definitely thought it was pretty good. I definitely think it's worth going and checking out.
Yeah. I'm going to watch it. I'm not too crazy about running out to the theater right now to go see it. If situations were different, I probably would.
That's fine. Like I said, it's definitely not a movie for everybody, and I could see how some people would not like it. But I do think it does justice to like seeing what it's like to have someone living with like a mental illness.
Yeah. Do you think like Joaquin Phoenix's performance is close to Heath Ledger's? Like, are they I know they're not going to be similar because Heath Ledger was insane, but
they are very different. But I think Joaquin Phoenix did a really good job with this movie.
That's good.
He, I mean, there's some scenes where he's just like unsettling to watch, and I'm like, that's definitely what he's going for.
Ooh.
And he just really slips into that role where you're like, he is completely losing his mind.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm glad that Joaquin Phoenix has come back and I guess he's risen from the ashes, I guess.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of a big actor and then he disappeared, or he did.
He's done a couple. I know he did that. Was it Walk the Line movie a couple years ago?
Like he's a good actor, and then he did. I don't remember what it was called. It was a documentary about him leaving acting to become a rapper, but he was actually leaving acting to become a rapper, and he like grew his beard out, he grew his hair out, he went to like talk show host and like was promoting the movie while also kind of like breaking the fourth wall and like promoting his rap career at the same time. And people were like, this dude's insane. Like, he's literally insane. And then he did that for a little while, kind of disappeared, came back with a movie called, I think, Her, and it was very, very weird. And then after that, it just kind of like settled down. And so now he just kind of like popped up out of nowhere again. It was like, oh yeah, this dude can actually act.
And he was a very good actor, but I could see him getting into some of like the stranger roles after watching this movie. I think that might be like kind of his thing, to really get in deep with a character.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna watch it. Probably not in theaters, but I'll pick it up. Some other news that has come out in the past week or so. Doom Eternal was a game that was going to be coming out this year, November 22nd, from Bethesda Softworks. It was developed by id, published by Bethesda. It's been delayed to March 20th of next year, and so there's a lot of rumors going around about why, because as of right now, we're about a month and a half away from when it would have been released, and they hadn't really been talking about it a whole lot, so a lot of people were like, that's never a good sign if it's this close. and nothing has come out. It's almost the same thing as Anthem. You know,
Mhm.
the E3 before Anthem released, they were literally showing concept art.
Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, it's like they showed the same demo that they showed the previous E3, but this time they had concept art included, and so that was just not good. A lot of people kind of caught on. So the same thing was going on with this game, and what was it? Wolfenstein Youngblood. It had a hub world, kind of. Yeah, it was a hub world, and a lot of people, and even Wolfenstein 2 had a hub world, and people just kind of didn't like it. They don't like being pulled from the experience to go to this. Borderlands 3 has a hub world too. Like it's a new trend that's happening right now, and not a lot of people like it.
I think Destiny kind of started that trend.
Yeah.
Destiny, I think, was one of the first like big games to take off with like that hub world
Yeah.
kind of thing with
And
the
then,
tower.
Call of Duty World War II did it, but those serve a purpose. Like you go there to do things that you kind of need to do.
Mm-hmm.
But with Borderlands 3, I guess Borderlands 3 is a little better, but with like Wolfenstein, you could have just had menus. Like it could have been easier to just do it that way. And so with some earlier preview coverage of Doom Eternal, there was some stuff coming out about it kind of showed or teased that there was going to be a hub world. And so I think a lot of people were like, this is not going to receive too well. And with Bethesda releasing Fallout 76 to poor reception, Rage 2 to mediocre reception, and Wolfenstein to mediocre reception, I feel like they were like that Doom Eternal, which was a sleeper hit in 2016 with the original one, they really have to deliver. Like this has to be pristine. But they moved it to March. March is a month away from The Last of Us Part 2. It is 2 weeks away from the Final Fantasy VII Remake. It is roughly a week and a half away from the Watch Dogs 3 game, which is going to be a big deal.
There's kind of a lot of heavy competition when it comes out.
And it's less than a month away from Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah,
So
it's not going to be good.
Yeah, it's like they moved it from... It was the last big release this year. That was like the perfect like Thanksgiving game. You could pick it up, play it during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, the whole weekend, even like holiday. Just the whole holiday. And they moved it to March.
Well, in their defense, though, if the game's not ready, I would much rather have the game come out and be ready
That
than
is
have
true.
it be broken.
Yeah.
Because so many games these days get pushed out the door because we have to meet this deadline.
Yeah.
And the game is like unplayable and gets terrible reviews and bombs, and then by the time they actually fix it and it's good, no one cares anymore. It's already got a bad reputation.
Yeah.
So I'll kind of give them some points for this. If it really wasn't ready, I'm willing to wait and have them fix it. That is kind of really bad timing on their part, coming out against so many other heavy hitters in that area.
Yeah.
I'd almost say they need to delay it a little bit longer after that.
Yeah, or if they have a lot that they have to do, then I guess you got to do what you got to do. But it's like maybe also when it was coming out in November, kind of the last big release this year, they'd be getting a good bit of attention and just the attention. So if this game didn't perform well or had some issues, everyone would be talking about it.
That's true.
If these issues persist when it releases in March, they're kind of going to be, in the back burner with all the news. Everyone's going to be talking about everything else, possibly even next-gen consoles. If PS5 gets fully revealed or partially revealed in February, if Doom Eternal releases to, lukewarm reception, it's not going to get as much press as if it got, lukewarm reception in November.
Yeah. So another really interesting thing I heard about this week, there's been a lot of controversies going around, especially in Europe, over loot boxes, especially after the Battlefront fiasco with all that. So there are a lot of European countries and some states here in the U.S. have been talking about passing laws restricting and regulating loot boxes. CSGO put out a special type of loot box mechanic only in France. So this is something they're kind of testing the waters with, mainly from a legal aspect, I'm guessing is the reason behind this. And the way this mechanic works is when you open a loot box, instead of just getting something random and then going to the next one, it essentially says, this is what you're going to get from this loot box. So you know exactly what it is, and it could be a great gun, it could be a crappy camo, but you have to purchase that to be able to get the next one. So it's taking some of the random mechanics out of it, like when you click it, it then randomizes it and shows you what you're going to get, but then you're pretty well stuck at that wall until you agree to purchase it to be able to get the next one. So this kind of looks to me like a legalese way to get around. Well, it's not gambling. They know what they're buying. So it's like you have to buy that really crappy thing if you want a chance to get something good next time. So I don't really like that whole mechanic at all. I'm like, if you really want to put microtransactions in a game, that's fine. I really like the way like For Honor does it, where there is no premium currency. It's all just one currency you can work and earn and get. If you want to put skins in a game, that's fine. Put skins in a game. Have people be able to get what they want. You can still make a lot of money off some of these things. You don't need to charge $20 for skins or give someone like a 2% chance of getting an item they like. If you're fair with a game, people will pay a lot more money for stuff.
Yeah.
Like, if there's a free-to-play game that I like, and I'm like, I've really enjoyed this game, and I didn't have to pay anything for it, I'm a lot more encouraged to give developers a couple bucks for their efforts to keep the game going.
Yeah.
And I think that's fair.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, came out last year. And the base game is $60, but you can get the gold edition, which was $100, and it was going to be 2 major expansions and some, I think, just like mostly 2 major expansions, and none of those were like talked about. You had no idea what you were getting going in, but trusting the developer is what caused, like, for me, I got the gold edition. I spent $100 on a single game because I knew that it was going to be good. From the developer, from the specific team that was working on this Assassin's Creed, I had confidence that was going to be good. So, like, if developers and publishers, treated customers fairly, they can get away with totally doing this. And like Ubisoft also has the microtransactions for like time saving, to where you can upgrade. I think you can use real money in Assassin's Creed Origins and Odyssey to buy time saver pack, which you get 50% more experience and 50% more of the currency, like the in-game currency, so that way you can play through the game faster, which brought up a lot of conversations about Assassin's Creed Odyssey being deliberately padded out to make it a very long game, so that way it kind of forces you to want to buy that. But I didn't think that was really grounded, because like the game was fun. I put 125 hours into that game, and I didn't spend any more than what I already spent on the DLC. But I don't know. I guess microtransactions can be handled properly. It's just there's so many times where it's not, instead of the opposite.
It's a real tempting thing for a developer to start setting these microtransactions and think, well, if we did this, we could gouge a little bit more money out of people.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of companies kind of drift into that, and it starts kind of creating a divide amongst players. You have some of the players who, are going to do it no matter what, but it also, I think, alienates a lot of people out of wanting to do something.
So a lot of reviews have been coming out for Borderlands 3, a lot of impressions, and I was just going to give my little take, because I haven't talked to you actually about, what I thought about the game, and at least
not since you finished it.
Because I had a very, like, hot and cold thought process for this game. I was like, oh, this game's pretty good, and then I'm like, I don't know, it's okay. And then I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I finally finished the campaign. I'm still running through. So this game really opens up after you finish it. It's so many quests pop up, plus the proving grounds and the Circle of Slaughter. There's so much stuff to do in this game. It's pretty good. It's actually pretty awesome. But so like, without spoilers, obviously, the last fifth or more of this game is some of the best Borderlands that I've ever played. It's like a whole different team designed the very end of this game, because It's like from the writing, you meet a character that's a new character, and it's probably my favorite character in any Borderlands games. Completely beats out Handsome Jack. Like this person is awesome. Every line was super funny. It was super witty. It was like, oh, okay, this is cool. They tied a lot together at the very end, and it was like kind of surprising that they ended on a high note. It was the last section was like super fun. The side quests were like well thought out, and like they're funny. Like I don't know if you played very early. There's a VR mission type side quest where like a lot of people are complaining about it because it turns your screen blue.
I haven't played that one yet.
It's really like it hurts your eyes. It actually hurts your eyes, and so they do stuff not similar to that, but they have some like cool gimmicky side missions that happen at the end, and those are just it's really good. I was really surprised about how it ended. It was super fun. I was not expecting it to be like for it to like turn around, because like like the writing is pretty so. It's not that
it
detrimental.
wasn't as good as some of the other games. I'll definitely say
No,
that.
it's definitely not.
Like especially I'm about halfway through the game with my wife. And
Yeah.
It's definitely got some cringy moments in there and some of the writing stuff.
And it's like cringe is what Borderlands 2 had. Like I don't know, like Tiny Tina's character has always been kind of cringy to me. Just some of the one-liners she says. But with Borderlands 3, it was like cringy in an awkward way. Like Vaughn, I hate Vaughn. Like Claptrap, I did not like in like Borderlands 1 and 2. I didn't like his voice. I didn't like how he acted. And so when they changed it up, they got a new actor for Borderlands 3. I was like, oh, okay, he's actually like tolerable for me. But then they added Vaughn, and I literally cannot stand Vaughn. And it is just like, have you heard him yell "Blood Feud" yet? I'm sure you probably have. It's like he probably says that close to 30 times, like by the end of the game, and it's really annoying. But other than that, the story is really good. The gameplay picked up. The missions are really awesome. So I had a lot of fun with it, and so a lot of people are coming out with impressions of it or whatever. So I was just wanted to give mine because I know you haven't finished it yet, and I hadn't really talked to anyone about it yet. But
I guess one last thing we can talk about too. I'm not a super huge Fortnite fan, but Fortnite has generated a lot of publicity over the new stuff they're doing.
Yeah.
So apparently they've gone in today and
this morning
destroyed the map that has made them billions of dollars.
Yeah, they blew it up. They nuked it. It's a black hole right now.
So I've heard they also like shut down a lot of the servers, so you can't even like play right now.
Yeah, so like for at least an hour they shut down the Epic Games Store just to I'm sure it's just to do some updates to change some stuff around, and there's some teases of a new map. So like what was it, Apex Legends? They just came out with a new map, and so like a completely new map. And I think they got rid of the old one for right now. And Kings Canyon, I think, was the old one. I don't know what the new one's called. So I think Fortnite, they've been
feeling some of the heat from Apex, and it's time to start changing things up a little.
Well, with Fortnite, they like every season they change a chunk of the map. They'll update it or do whatever. So I think they were like, okay, well, now we need to just go ahead and just destroy the map, or in a canon way.
Map.
Yeah. Get rid of that one. Through a storytelling element, which is really cool that they do these live events.
Yeah, I think that's a really neat aspect of it, marketing wise, and even denying players access for limited time, it might get some people angry, but it's also going to get people really hyped, and it's going to get people talking.
Yeah.
So I think stuff like this is an ingenious way to have a marketing campaign for your game.
Yeah. I definitely would like to see other developers take this route, like we were talking about, like Red Dead Online. It'd be really cool if they had a live event of style like this of like with the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, the Red Dead Nightmare come back for Halloween. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, like just have players just happen to stumble across that town where the church, the doors are shut, and have them be open, and it's like there's zombies outside. There was that one player that had that, I thought, right?
There's been a couple players like coming across like corpses with like open green eyes and stuff like that, but I haven't really seen anything like substantial yet over like someone actually seeing a zombie yet.
Yeah, that would be cool if they just kind of unleashed it quietly, and then eventually when people started talking about it, then they did a full like trailer reveal saying in October, blah blah blah. That's when it's coming out. It's going to be like a month-long event. That would be really cool.
Yeah, and I always think it's a lot of fun when games do like big changing events. Maybe not changing up the gameplay, but changing up some of the maps. Like I know World War II, they always change their hub world for each season and their stuff. Like if it was Christmas, there's snow everywhere. They put in like snow gear and a lot of theme stuff like that. Then in summer it was all like beach themed stuff. And one thing I really liked with their summer games is there's a little sandbox built on one of the beaches, and then they actually made that sandbox a level, like a playable level you could go in and play as. So everybody in there was like little army soldiers, and I don't know, I just think that was a really neat, interesting idea for a map.
Yeah, that is pretty cool. I think even Destiny is doing like a seasonal event for Halloween, so they got some stuff going on. That is pretty cool.
Well, I think that's all we got for this week. I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, we'll see you next time.
See you.